Okay, great. Hi everyone. I have a few pieces of information to give you about hiring employees or contractors, or what are some of those things that you should consider. Looking at some cost factors, and where you can find credits to offset up some of the costs for hiring employees if you go that route. Sorry. So today it's all about, the employee decision versus the contractor. Regardless of which one you pick, what are some of the things that you have to have in place, since that these two employment categories are significantly different and comes with various compliance issues as well that you will also have to meet in your small business. And there's no excuses when you're caught in trouble for not meeting these requirements. So when you're at this point in your business, when you're deciding to hire employees, contractor, I'll always say, congratulations. This means that your business is growing. You're able to start pushing down work. And also you're kind of getting out of that being a jack of all trade mode, realizing that you do need help, and that having whether it's a contractor or employee in your business will help you to grow, will help to free up your time as well, and will help you to do some of the other things that you needed to do to keep your business moving forward in the right direction. So there are 4 things to consider if you're planning on hiring employee or contractor. So the differentiation in how you move forward with this decision, I think that there are 4 things that are important. And the first one is the skill sets that you're looking for to complete the job, and what type of experience you're looking for. The time available for you to train. Whenever you take on someone full-time in your business, no matter how much experience they have, you have to give them time to get adapted to your culture, your vision, and so forth, that you have to give that transition time, and also provide some training, even if they've already have, years of experience. The third, this is 3, right? The third thing that you're gonna consider is the amount of work that you have for that role. The amount of work that you have for that role is really important, because a lot of business owners get really excited because their business is growing and want to hire, but sometimes capacity can be an issue, so you don't want to overhire too fast, especially when it comes to full-time people. And then the fourth factor that I'm going to talk about is cost. What does it cost for contractors, employees, and with the cost, there are compliance issues, and how you can meet those compliance issues so that you can stay out of trouble and be on the right track. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, thank you for being here. Anyways, so as I said, it's very important you're moving out of the jack of all trade mode. You're pushing down work. You're refining your processes, and hopefully you feel energized to get someone to help you out, and see the numbers that this should produce going forward. So when we look at the skill set versus the role that you're trying to find this person for. So this is basically ensuring that not only that you have the right person, but that you have the right person in the right seat. And that's 2 different things, the role that person take and their skill set. How do you merge both of them to ensure that you have the right person? A lot of times, as small business owners, what we'll do is trying to put someone because they're already in our business, and we put them in that role, and that leads to a lot of frustration, waste of money, downtime, unproductivity, and then all those things that you may not pay out of pocket for, but it's really costing you money, just because you may be just forcing this person in that role, without consideration, of their skill set, and if they can really, or maybe that you believe that they can really execute on that role, but that's probably not what they want to do personally. So make sure that, you're able to, find someone, even if this someone is already within your business, to make sure that you give and complete independent evaluation of skill sets, role, making sure that this person will be in the right seat, so that you don't go ahead and put a person that's, I will not even say not qualify, just put someone there in order to basically fill that seat. Hi, Patrick. To just, to fill that seat. So you want to make sure that that person can do the job, wants to do the job, and that they're also going to give a good work product. Trust me, you can avoid a lot of headaches that way. And also remember, when you hire a contractor, this person should be able to pick the job up, run with it from start to finish. Of course, there's going to be some decision on the quality of the work and what the end product, the deliverable should be. But this person should be able to work with no supervision and deliver a quality end product. Versus when you have, so it's kind of like outsourcing. Versus, if an employee, then, there may be, a lot of, meetings and so forth, which also takes up time. Number two that I said, this leads into number two that I said, how much time you have available to train someone. I see this happen all the time, that, you think that, your schedule is going to go, you're going to have all this available time because you have someone new. But to find out that, you're spending more time in your business just because you have to get this person up and running. Even if this person is experienced and can do the actual work, maybe they need training on your systems, maybe it's your processes, maybe get them up to speed with your service delivery model or something. So there will always be some sort of training transition time, and you always have to make sure that you factor that in. So this more comes with hiring an employee to come into your business versus a contractor. The contractor should be able to pick things, because contractors, they should be specialized. So it's like outsourcing. They should be able to pick things up, move forward with it with limited supervision. And the third one that I said I was going to talk about is the amount of work that you have for this person. Or for this role, that, don't, be excited, but, make sure that you evaluate, how much work you have for this role. You can hire ahead of time, before the business coming in. So, but make sure that you have some good, projections or numbers to support the amount of work this person, because you don't want a lot of idle time. It costs money to have people sitting there not having work, and it also costs money to have people sitting there and doing the wrong job. Maybe they're working on something that you can find and virtual assistant to work on. So you always want to look out for those two things, that you don't have a lot of open capacity that you're paying a full-time salary for, and also that you're not paying someone a higher pay rate that will take, and they're doing the job of someone that should be paid so much less, just because you're trying to push so many things onto that one person. And if you're pushing so many things onto that one person, they're not going to be productive, they're not going to do it well, and it's just going to be more frustrations for you. And then when we look at cost factors, and that's why I gave the three first before the cost factor, is because when you're thinking about this decision of employee and contractors, cost is always a factor, but you should also evaluate other things other than cost. So it's normally cheaper to hire a contractor, but other factors have to be considered: where your business is going, how much work you have, is it more feasible to have someone full-time than a contractor? And there's other factors that you have to look into other than the cost of that's the cost of hiring this person. Like, you know, you don't want to be super cheap. You want to make sure that your hiring decision is in line with your growth plan and where your business is going. So when we look at contractor and considering the cost, if you decide to go with a contractor, there's certain things that you have in place from a compliance standpoint. Now, it's good to have some kind of contract between you and your contractor. So make sure that you have that, you know, for legal reasons, but also make sure that you collect a W-9 upfront. Trust me, no one wants to give a W-9 after they've been paid. So collect a W-9 upfront, make sure it's signed, make sure that their address is on it, and make sure that it's dated. So what I'll say, if you're hiring a lot of contractors, keep a W-9 template. You can get one from your accountant or something on file. So as soon as you onboard this contractor, you know, your admin or whomever can send them the W-9 for them to sign, let them know which box they need to fill out and sign to make sure that you have the complete information, because it's really hard to follow up after they've already completed the work and they're moved on. They're just going to ignore your emails because they don't want you to issue them that 1099. Also, don't let them use your in-house products. So for instance, if you're in marketing and you have like a lot of marketing tools, designing tools and all that stuff that you have to use to deliver your work, don't have your contractor using a lot of your tools. And the reason for this is your contractor has to not only appear, but they have to be independent for you to continue to pay them under that category as a contractor, because this is something that can be, you know, audited, and that you have to be compliant with. So make sure that the contractor is not using a lot of your in-house products, because they will appear more of an employee than a contractor. Also, make sure that you're not controlling their schedule. They should be able to work whenever they want. I mean, of course, there's project timelines and so forth to continue to consider, but make sure that they're able to work their own schedule. They set their time, they set their schedule. If you have a physical location, you don't want them to be coming there a lot. You want them to be able to work from wherever they are and so forth. And that will give a clear line between if this person's a contractor or if they're an employee, and you won't have any issues with, you know, whether it's workers' comps, you know, IRS, your state government. You won't have any problem with those categorization, as long as you're able to make it appear and in actual practice as independent as possible. And the third thing for the contractor is to always have them send you an invoice. They send you an invoice, and that's how they get paid, by however you want to transfer money or whatever you want to pay them. But make sure that you have an invoice in place for them to bill for their service. That also proves that this person is independent. You know, your employees don't send invoices. And, you know, of course, at the end of the year, if you pay them more than $600, then you have to file forms 1099. And what this does, it protects you from being responsible for their payroll taxes. If you're not filing 1099s for your contractors, the worst case is that you will have to pay their taxes for them if you're not filing because on your, I guess, your return filing, there's a separate line where you put, you know, how much you've paid contractors. And if you don't have 1099 to add up to that amount or prove that you know, collected this information, then you can pay tax on this amount. And, you know, you don't want to pay someone else taxes for them. So if you decide to go with an employee, then of course you're going to have to establish a formal payroll service. They will help you to get all the information that you need to have in place for payroll. And, you know, some of them may provide HR compliance, things that you need to have in place. The next thing is to look for tax credits. There are a lot of tax credits that are available for hiring people for different reasons. Different states have different credits. I have some of my clients have received the employee retraining credit, and this credit basically gives I don't remember what's the dollar limit. I think it's $2,500 or $1,500 or $1,500 a person. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember the exact dollar amount per employee. And this is only retraining. So because a lot of businesses uses a lot of software these days, and software, there's so many updates that get done to the software. So if they have to, sit in front of their computer and have to go through a software update or something, that's considered retraining. And you can get a tax credit to offset your state taxes for amount of how much you're paying your employee. And I think the cap in Georgia is $1,500 to $2,500. I don't remember the exact amount per employee. So as I said, I have several clients who receive this for their employees. If you're the owner, you don't receive the credit, only the employees. And this can be a way that helps you to offset some of the payroll costs that you as a business owner have to pay. And, and that's only one credit. And there's several others out there in different states. There are different caps and so forth that you can have. And for the employee, when you're looking at your cost of hiring this person, make sure that you include the cost of FICA taxes, because remember that you pay, as a business owner, you are responsible for paying 50% of your employees' FICA taxes. They pay everything else, and you only pay 7.5% of their salary in FICA taxes. And the credit is awesome because it will help to offset some of that cost. And the fourth thing is for employees is that if you're considering hiring employees, the next step is to think about ways to retain your employees. It's always, costs more to hire a new person than to retain an existing person. So consider, how you can retain them. Are you going to do profit sharing, any sort of 401k plans, retirement account, insurance, bonuses, and other factors. So there are several ways and products that are out there that you can offer your employees to incentivize them and, help them to stick around, help them to be motivated to do a good job. And so that's one of the things that you have to think about, what are some of those things that you can have in place in order to retain your employees so that they can stay around, they can help you to grow your business, and they can continue to grow and develop with you and your business. So that's it on contractor employee. So it's not a yes or no answer. It's based on what's going on in your business, where you're trying to take your business, how much work you have, what type of skill set you're looking for. So all these factors you can evaluate and see what decision you want to go. And also you don't want to have, just a lot of full-time people being idle, not having a lot of work to do. So probably those are the places that you can have independent contractors until you're able to build up workload for that product or that service that you're offering. And then also remember, your time is also a factor. So if you have to train and get people up to speed, then that can also be an issue. But it's about 19 to 20 minutes, so I'm gonna stop here. Let me know if you have any questions. I will be glad to answer, and thank you for watching today.